There we go. Hello, all, and welcome to the Libertarian Party of Ohio Mises Caucus business meeting for May. State conventions happened. Nationals coming up. We're still alive. Probably. Yeah, Reno's going to be a party. And my only ask to everyone showing up is that you don't do any new drugs and you be sober enough to be on time for the meeting in the next morning. Got it? You can all promise this? Good. Teamwork makes the dream work. So, big news coming out of this state convention. First thing is things went really well, about as well as can be expected. The financial numbers are worse than we'd feared, but not as good as we'd hoped. And I'm not going to say anything more because the treasurer report isn't out officially yet, although that should be at the XCOM meeting, which is, I hope, next Saturday, because there was supposed to be one this last Saturday, but we didn't meet quorum. So what else is there? There were some bylaw changes. Ohio will have official membership dues. They are $25 a year. We've clarified some other stuff about the 315 process for removing a member if necessary, which hopefully you will never, ever have to participate in a 315 in any way. Not just removal, but general like censure and stuff. Like it's the punishing clause. But it's been made a lot clearer and it's been made very explicit. You can only do it for one member at a time and with specific notice requirements and everything. So we should not have anything like Massachusetts or the like ever happen in Ohio. So that's good. What else? But yeah, no, it was a good time. I think it was a nice bonding experience. People got to meet non-Mises people, got to meet Mises people. Mises people got to meet non-Mises people. A bunch of people went out to the bar and did karaoke for hours and debated politics. And yeah, it was fun. Jeremiah, go for it.
Yeah, this is probably a stupid question, but I did pay dues to the Ohio LP. Were we supposed to get like a card or anything from that? Or because I got my national stuff in the mail, but I never got the state stuff.
So ironically, you're asking the perfect person. So I'm financial director of the state, wearing a different hat now. When I took over as financial director, we had been fairly out of date with cards, as in I believe that we were backlogged for the entire year of 2021. And I did not know that sending out membership cards were part of my duty at the time, because I was asked to like, hey, this is a role that needs filled, and I tried to fill it, but without a clear understanding of what all the role did. Which, if you ever have the opportunity to not do that, avoid it. I think I've kept the boat from sinking faster, and that's about the quality of my work. I wish I could say more, but no, we're catching back up on stuff now. The CRM is back up to date, so now we know who is a member and not, again, which we didn't for a bit there, which is very worrying. But now we actually know who members are, so that we could go back through and do the membership cards and print them and send them out. In all honesty, I would be in favor of removing membership cards, because they have an expiration date of a year, so we need to resend every year. They're not free. Mailing's not free. I would love to see the program changed to be, for an extra $5 donation, we will send you a membership card, or at least check the box if you wanted to, or membership cards on request, but not assumed for all 300-ish LPO members, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I don't really care one way or the other. I just got like a huge packet of stuff from National, and then when I paid for the state, I got nothing. But
Yeah.
I was just curious about that.
Yeah, no, that's where I am. Like, we don't use them for anything. And when National does stuff like that, it kind of annoys me too. Like the newspaper that everyone throws out that I assume cost a fair bit of money, but like no one reads it. And it's
No.
like
Well, I glanced through it.
I don't. Um, but I think it's a poor use of volunteer time. I would much rather like the time that we would take to do um the donation cards I think about the same amount of time it would take to have a functional monthly newsletter. And if I could pick between a functional monthly email newsletter going out to everyone registered with us, so like there's actually that continuous contact going back and forth, or a membership card that is used for nothing, you know what I'm going to pick.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's it. It's one of the things. It's in the XCOM backlog. I don't know. I'm going to talk to them about it and figure out if I need to bring it up again. This business meeting this weekend. I forgot to last week. And yeah. So originally someone else was the reason cards are behind. Now I'm the reason cards are behind. So it is my fault. But I also I would love to use it as an excuse to move forward without cards. Now I don't remember what I was talking about. Okay. So other thing, so convention. So the other two things coming out of convention. So one tangential is CENTCOM stuff. The other, that's posted. The other direct also tangential is the ballot access petition drive. So I'm going to share my screen for a second. We're going to get into the CENTCOM stuff. So the CENTCOM application is officially up. Woo! Ew. You're also, I know everyone's super excited. So someone tell Phil this in Warren County because he's been asking me for a while. Let him know. Someone fills out this form, or I don't even know. Yeah, this form, and they become a applicant, someone on the ballot for that congressional district to run. If they don't,
okay,
they're not.
that should be my district, and he belongs to Warren County. So,
well, no, it's Phil has, yeah, he's in Warren, and there's like, but he has like 2 or 3 people that he said all wanted to run, and he kept asking me like, hey, how do I apply? How do I apply? And there wasn't a way to apply. So I guess directly emailing Trisha technically counted. So some people did that, which is great, but I didn't know to say that. But now there is an official thing. If you go to lpo.org/jobs, which is a great site, I'd recommend people go there and see what volunteer jobs are available at any time. There are always a couple. Yeah, if we're taking an intern. Or if anyone knows an IT director, we'd love to have them. But now use this to apply to become a state central committee member. Just a reminder, the state central committee, they meet at least 3 times a year. Derek wanted 4. I wanted 0, but hey, they elect the I'll win next time. They elect the executive committee of the Libertarian Party of Ohio, which is the one that like runs all the day-to-day stuff. They are used to fill all the important committees. So like when a convention or conference committee comes up, they'll often be used to fill it. They are the only people that can become at-large people on the executive committee. And they also are the ones that are essentially the judicial committee. So think of them as a combination between like an electoral college, a judicial committee, and like an extra bank of volunteers, if that makes sense. So would recommend people running for it. We need more people to run for it. It's an important committee that's never full, especially if you're like in a weird district. Like if you're in Southeast Ohio, you got it. No one's going to run against you. 2 vacant seats in your congressional district. So just do it. Yeah. And if you are interested in the endorsement of the Mises Caucus for your run, I mean, everyone who's already Mises Caucus endorsed person who's currently on there, I assume you'll probably just get yours again if you ask or whatever. But there was a Google form that went out last month, the month before about this. I'll probably send it again in the next email, but just it's not the most rigorous endorsing form, but I don't want to endorse someone who will make the committee more dysfunctional, which I think is reasonable. Any questions about Central Committee? Actually, the question is probably when and where is the election? And the answer is the election will be in your congressional district, and it will be, it says it here, between July 30th and August 14th. And they'll be going out on the party Facebook page and other means. Yeah. All good. Any questions about Central Committee? I know we've talked about it a number of times before, and I always told you there was more information to come. The more information finally came. Woo. I'm very excited. Moving on. Also, someone sent me an important. People keep notifying me. What was the other thing I had on my agenda to talk about? That was petitioning. So we are getting into petition mode. I want the Libertarian Party of Ohio to be the official Libertarian Party of Ohio, as in on the ballot in 2024. Whoever is the presidential nominee, Dave Smith, I want them to be the Libertarian option on the ballot in Ohio. Reasonable enough? And there was silence in the crowd.
Yes, sir. That's what we want. But how do we get it?
So we need 1% of the votes in the previous election as signatures. We're shooting for submitting the petition 2023 near the end of the year. The governor's race has a few less votes. So hopefully that means we need something in the range of 55,000 signatures. What that means is that we need 110,000 verified signatures, because half of them get thrown out because fuck the Republicrats or duopoly, whatever you want to call them. They throw out all the petitions. And 110,000 verified signatures means many more signatures than that collected, and then someone actually going through and verifying them all. It is a process. It is complicated. It is hard. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It is way easier if every county pitches in. Because however much are not gathered organically by our volunteers, the party is going to pay someone to gather. And petition signatures are expensive. I think it's like, I don't remember, like $4 a signature or something. Yeah, last time we paid $250,000 in signatures.
And then lost it immediately.
Hey, Drake.
Not immediately, a little bit longer than immediately.
At the convention, Helen mentioned something about pursuing legal remedies instead of having to go through the process of signature and gathering. Has anyone done like a cost analysis on that? What it would take to hire the lawyer up and work on it that way? I don't even know what the avenue would be. I'm not a lawyer, but
Um,
I'm wondering if that's something that anybody in the LPO is pursuing.
I don't know enough to give you a definitive answer, but I'm going to give you like my understanding of previous history. And my understanding of previous history is that 2 or 3 times we have taken lawsuits to the Ohio Supreme Court over ballot access. For example, in 2016, Gary Johnson ran as an independent, and he got 5.2% of the vote. The law in Ohio says for you to remain a party, you must get at least 5%. And if you're an independent and you get at least 5%, you can then form your own minor party. Gary Johnson ran as an independent, got over 5%, tried to use that to reform the Libertarian Party. And they said, well, you can form a new one, but you can't reform a previous one. And we took them to court. And we won the battle in court, but by the time that we had won it, the next election had already passed, and we weren't on the ballot, so we didn't win the required percentage. And they're like, you know what? You were right. You should have been on the ballot that election, but oh well. No damages, no remedies, no adding us to the ballot next time. And a couple other times, similar things have happened. We've taken them to court and we've won. We've been in the right, and they've literally broken the law. And it's just been, well, you guys were right. So I think that there are legal remedies that could fix this. I don't think they're going to happen over the previous 2 elections for Ohio. Like there's some like federal stuff that could maybe fix it, but in Ohio we got like 1% in 2020. We're not even running anyone in 2022. So like we don't, if there's a strong legal case, I haven't heard it. So maybe like the legal case is probably a lot cheaper, but in my eyes it would be an incredible long shot and probably not done before the 2024 race.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And I could be totally wrong. And if hey, YouTube, listening to this video, please message me if I'm wrong, and I will offer a correction next video. But that's what I understand. So it sucks. It really sucks. I wish it wasn't the case. But the thing is, the strategy of the LPO. So there were a lot of people burning the midnight oil to get us on the ballot in 2020. And they did like a hero's work and just amazing stuff. Like someone who's out there all weekend in the rain gathering petitions and verifying them and like going through 1,000 documents scanned electronically to make sure every person on this has like the correct address and lives where they say they live and is a registered voter and all this really amazing work. And a lot of them burnt out, and no one was ready to go for 2022 because the day that the Jorgensen's votes were released, it was a lot of people were just tired, and they kind of took a break. And the plan was, we're going to figure out how to get counties working again and restart them and build strong affiliates and affiliate. The hope was to affiliate every county. We got a quarter of the counties, or almost a quarter, like so a lot better than we were. And then to take this and turn it into the grassroots petitioning movement that can get those signatures. Because if we have enough people doing it, it's not that hard or expensive. Like the hard part is 5 people working like mad to do it alone. If we have 100 people, it becomes a much easier process. So that's where you all come in. That's where all the county affiliates come in. That's where like all the work Helen's been putting in to get the counties up and running comes in, is because when the county fairs happen, every county fair booth for a Libertarian Party should have petition signature boards. When the Pride parades happen, when the Juneteenth parades happen, when all these happen, we need signature boards there. And when the general election happens in 2020, every single person in the Libertarian Party of Ohio that physically can needs to take off work and spend literally the entire day in front of a polling place collecting signatures, because like the days that votes happen are just massively better than everything else. Normally, if you're waiting in front of the DMV, and the DMV is one of the better spots, waiting for the DMV for an hour, you get 3, that's a good day. But during an election, everyone's like, I am doing political stuff now. I'm showing up because I want to vote and I care about politics. You can just signatures all the time. But the hard thing is, if you have 5 people doing a hero's work, you only have 5 people on that day. But if we have 100, 200 people that are like doing an okay job, but they show up on that day, it'll be massive. Like if we could walk away from that day with 5,000-10,000 signatures, like remember, every signature is worth like $4, that we just gained back $40,000 in a day. So yeah, that's what Mises Caucus of Ohio is going to be about for the next year and a half until Dave Smith's on the ballot. That's what we're about.
Hey, Drake, one more question. The LPO web form for submitting interest in starting a county affiliate, who does that go to? And is that a good place? Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, is that a good place to direct people? Because when I've talked to some folks, as far as onboarding goes, I know Carl's working on it.
Yeah.
But
so
should we send them a link to that form?
So that goes to Helen. And if they don't have a county affiliate yet, that is a very good place to send them. And that's a combination effort of Helen and Carl's helping out now, although I don't know still kind of what you're doing. And the more you do, the better, because honestly, I'm a little bit hoping that Helen doesn't win regional rep, just because I think we need her desperately. And I think that the county growth program is going to fall apart without her here. So it's my selfish reason for not wanting Helen to become regional rep. The other place we might actually want to start sending people is we might want to start sending people to the new Libertarian Party of Ohio Discord. Are you guys all on that yet?
I am.
Yeah, I'm on there.
Yeah, it was a relatively new thing that we're trying out, but it seems to be going really well, because getting people added to Rocket Chat is difficult. And now I'm able to do it by myself, which makes it a lot easier, but it's way more difficult than it should be. So this would kind of be the place of like, you need people interacting to like kind of keep that momentum moving forward. If they don't talk to other libertarian people in Ohio, like they just fall off into the ether. And you really don't want to have one point of contact. This is what happened with some people with like that Jennifer Flower or Patrick was helping out is they were helping out with the LPO, but they just did it by emailing Patrick and talking back and forth with him because he was their point of contact. But then Patrick changed jobs and couldn't do his LPO work anymore because his new job schedules conflicted too much. And now they're essentially gone from the party. They haven't heard anything from the Libertarian Party of Ohio in a year and a half. And I found them on Clubhouse, and they're like, hey, what happened to the LPO? Did it die? I'm like, no, we're still here. And it's just, but they lost their point of contact. So if we can get someone into a system like this, then they stick around, because it's like the day that something crazy happens to me, which will eventually happen, and I'm gone for 3 months or a year or whatever, they still have all those other people in place to contact. So honestly, we should add this to the onboarding list. Yeah, you know what? We should add this to all the onboarding. We should add this to the automated email. We should do this. Someone write this down that I need to. No, I'm gonna write it in my to-do list. Give me one sec. Where's my to-do list? Sorry. I know you guys just love watching me either enter things into Excels or add stuff to my to-do list. It's the most invigorating part of your day. Okay, sweet. It's on my to-do list. Now I probably won't forget it. But so that's the kind of stuff that we should push people through, because the starting up the county interest form is very valuable, but it's a lot to handle, to juggle, and because of that, people are not gotten back too quickly. Like Helen has a full-time impressive job with all those like fancy titles and things. She has a family and kids, and she is the delegation chair and on CENTCOM and starting up all the counties and all this stuff. So what happens is sometimes an email sent to her gets lost, and it's not because she's doing anything wrong. It's because she's doing too many things right, that it's just impossible to do everything at once, you know? So that's what stuff like this is for, is that way when someone asks a question, it's not just Helen or just me or just Michelle or just Carl or anyone answering this. It's everyone can answer this and kind of play off each other. So yeah, I don't remember the question that I was answering, but did that answer it?
Yeah, it was my question. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, sorry, I started rambling there all over. But back to petitioning. Sorry. Yes.
So you're going to add the Ohio Discord, LPO Discord, to the welcome, or the
Yeah, I'm going to add it to the automated.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to add it to the automated one, and I'm going to send the link to you. I think this is your email. Yeah, I'm going to send it to you again. So I would say we'll have it in the automated one, but then when you actually call and onboard people, just like reconfirm that they're on it. As like say, hey, did you join this through the automated thing? Because we'll just keep pushing that as like a, because then they're like involved, or they're in the know, because
that's a good idea.
Yeah, because right now there's not a point of truth where you can't say, hey, if you want to know about events in Ohio with Libertarian Party, go to the Facebook page. That's not up to date. Go to the blog and the website. That hasn't been posted to in a while. Go to the Twitter. The Twitter's active, but it doesn't always have like the events on it. It doesn't have all the links. Or go to like, or you can't ask the Twitter for questions because people running the Twitter aren't in the executive committee. It's like, so there's not really, I think that this is the best source of like truth of like, hey, when you are here, you can find you will hear important information, and you can get correct answers to questions. I hope, knock on wood.
I'm just trying to see if there's a thread that's like, there's like a volunteer coordinating.
There's a lot of, I like my Discords to have less channels. This one has a lot of channels.
Yeah, I'm just like, if I was new, I'm trying to see where I would go to just be like, hey, I'm new. There should be like a welcome or a newbie thread or something.
There's an introductions to the top, but the LPO general thread is the main one I point people to.
Okay. I see. Yeah, I was just in there. Okay. I see your type.
There's an announcements chat, so.
Okay.
Sweet. Access.
It should work.
It's full announcements. But yeah, so back to again, petitioning. Petitioning is going to be the big one. It's going to be the really big one. We're going to be pushing hard for that. I'm planning on, like, we're going to bring people into the we're going to do some trainings. As speaking as someone on the LPO XCOM, we're going to do some trainings about that. We're also going to do trainings about the county stuff because those are kind of like the big pushes. It's going to be counties growth, and it's going to be ballot access, and I want to do the candidate stuff too, and I want to do the lobbying to make changes to the laws too. But at this point, at least for my focus, I can do two things. And I'm going to do petition focus and county focus. If anyone wants to step up and spearhead the other sides, I would love the support. And I know we have some people like kind of filling those roles and mixed up, but yeah, those are two that are important to the Mises Caucus. Those are the other two planks in the platform, but you got to prioritize. If anyone wants to fill them, I'm happy to let anyone fill them, but I'm not going to because I know my limits and I can barely send out an email without typos. So I got lots of limits. Oh, I feel so bad about that. I have my personal email account open because I've been sending something else from it, and I just was like making my draft to get ready to send, and I just hit enter, in the wrong time, and you all got that garbage for my personal account. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, well, I even have the plugin installed to have an undo button on Gmail. But if you click away to a different tab, the undo button goes away. It's there for like 10 seconds, but only if you don't change like to a different section. And I changed a different tab or folder or whatever. So it's fine. Shouldn't happen too many more times this month. But I think that's it for the official meeting. I mean, if you're going to Reno, you've already gotten the stuff about Reno, but it's going to be a party. Ron Paul is going to be there and speak. To speak, and yeah, God. Things are going well. I feel very positive. I feel very white pilled. I feel very bullish in the Libertarian Party, and especially the Libertarian Party of Ohio. Like in some ways, we aren't where we used to be, but in other ways, I think that we're a bit more stable. The only thing that I would ask for is I wish that we could get on the national CRM faster, but on current timeline, it's gonna be a while. They're doing one state per quarter, and we're like 10th on the list. So, but I think that there should be more funding coming into that with the change of Libertarian Party national leadership, that their things should speed up. Again, knock on wood. Keep a wooden puzzle cube at my desk just to knock on, so I can knock on real wood. Any questions, comments, concerns? Then I will end the official meeting and we will just argue about the dumbest of politics. Go team.